Hello everyone, welcome to V2B Academy and I welcome you all to the class on V2B Varta Setu. As part of V2B Varta Setu, we are going to continue the classes. We have already completed the 4 classes. So 2 classes were related to international relations for the month of May. Almost 20 articles we have discussed as part of May month's international relations part, and 2 videos related to polity are already uploaded for the month of May. Okay, for the month of May 2025. So now let's continue with the class 5 of V2B Varta Setu. So this is pieces in news part 1. Okay, so try to listen. Almost 7 different pieces in news we'll try to learn in this particular video, and tomorrow I'll be uploading another video where we'll be learning 6 to 7 other pieces in news which are there in the month of May 2025. Okay, so that is very much relevant for the exam point of view. So let's see the first pieces in news that was there. So that is Great Indian Bustard, which is also called as Adriatis nigriceps. So basically, UPSC will most of the times not focus on the scientific names. You don't need to remember. If you have a capability or if you have a background, you can remember it. However, if you don't have a background, don't try to memorize these kind of scientific names. So this is not it is highly impossible for UPSC to focus on the scientific names. You just need to remember the Great Indian Bustard. Okay, the original name is something, the usual name is something which you can remember. So because of the artificial insemination of the Great Indian Bustard, it was in the news. So that was the context of the news. But let's see what is UPSC something what is UPSC, or what is the area where the UPSC concentrates upon. Okay, this is something which we have to focus. The nature and habitat of the Great Indian Bustard is a large terrestrial bird. So basically, Great Indian Bustard is a large terrestrial bird, and this is endemic to Indian subcontinent. Okay, so this is a endemic species to Indian subcontinent, and it is a terrestrial bird. This is something which you have to remember. So first one is it is a terrestrial bird. Second point you have to remember is it is endemic to India or endemic to Indian subcontinent. This is also something which you have to memorize. And primarily this is found in dry grasslands and the scrublands. Remember this point, it is mostly found in the dry grassland regions and the scrubland regions, and try to visualize where the dry grasslands are there in Indian map. Okay, they are mostly in the parts of Rajasthan, right? So that's the reason I can tell you that Rajasthan is the area where we can find more number of Great Indian Bustards. Okay, so mostly in the desert areas the Great Indian Bustards will be there. Okay, so the Desert National Park of the Rajasthan will have the more number of species of the Great Indian Bustard. So they survive in the third desert, mainly in the areas of Jaisalmer and in the areas of the Barmar districts of Rajasthan in Desert National Park. So this is the point that you have to remember. I'll repeat it again. So basically, Great Indian Bustard is a terrestrial bird. It is a large terrestrial bird, and this is endemic to India. So they are found in dry grasslands and scrublands. So they are found in Rajasthan in the Desert National Park in the districts of Jaisalmer and Barmer. Mainly they are located in Thar district. Okay, Thar desert. These are the points that you have to remember. So basically, the total population of the Great Indian Bustards are very much low if you compare it with the previous 1 decade ago or 2 decades ago. The number of the population is getting quite decreased. Okay, it is estimated to be around 100 to 150 individuals across India. So if you look at throughout the India also, you cannot find more than 150 Great Indian Bustards. So that's the reason we have categorized the Great Indian Bustards as a critically endangered species. Remember this point. Okay, so under the IUCN it is in the red list, and in that particular list it is treated as a critically endangered species. Okay, and under the Wildlife Protection Act it is placed under the Schedule 1, which means high protection is given to this particular Great Indian Bustard, and in CITES it is placed in the Appendix 1. Okay, in the Wildlife Protection Act it is placed in Schedule 1, and in CITES it is placed in Appendix 1, and it is a critically endangered species. Okay, there are different types of different types of Great Indian Bustards that are founded in India. Okay, there are different bustards that are found in India. There are different types that are found in India with regards to bustard species. One is Great Indian Bustard, which we often see in the news, which is a critically endangered species. And the other the like other bustard species are Lesser Florican, Bengal Florican, and McQueen's bustard. So these are the 3 other type of bustard species which we can see and observe in India. Okay, so this is something which you have to remember. I'll repeat the points once again. First point is this is a terrestrial species. Okay, this is a terrestrial bird. We can see in the drylands and the scrublands. That's why we are about to found it in the Rajasthan region in the Thar desert. Okay, so they are found in Desert National Park. So basically their number is quite low. Only not more than 150 birds of bustards are not, like more than 150 are not seen in India. That's why we are categorizing them as critically endangered. In Wildlife Protection Act, they are placed in Schedule 1, and in CITES they are placed in Appendix 1. Okay. So other than the Great Indian Bustard, there are 3 other types of bustards that we see in India. One is Lesser Florican, one is Bengal Florican, and one is McQueen's bustard. Okay, so these are the 3 other types that are found in India with regards to bustard species. Okay, I hope you have understood till here. So this is the bustard species. This is how the bustard look like. Okay, try to memorize this. Next. So next thing that is in the news is, the second species that is in the news is kakapo. Okay, so kakapo is a flightless parrot of the New Zealand. So we often found the kakapo, which is a flightless parrot, near to the areas of New Zealand. Okay, so this is also in the news because of the artificial insemination process. So artificial insemination is used for conserving a particular species. So that's why it is in the news. So that is the context of the news. So what is the more things that was in the news is a team of researchers from Justus Liebig University Gießen, okay, they belongs to Germany, and New Zealand's Department of Conservation. So they were speaking about the kakapo recovery, and they were doing the artificial insemination process to recover and to conserve this particular kakapo species, which is a flightless bird that is found in near to the places of New Zealand. Okay, so you don't need to remember all this information, just you have to remember kakapo. Okay, the details of kakapo is something which UPSC concentrates upon. So artificial insemination is successfully implemented on the critically endangered kakapo species. So basically kakapo is also a critically endangered species. Okay, so if you look at the features of the kakapo, so kakapo is a flightless parrot that we see mainly in the regions of New Zealand. It is a native bird or a native parrot that belongs to New Zealand, and remember that it's a nocturnal species and it is herbivorous. Okay, remember, it is a flightless parrot. Second one, it is native to New Zealand, and the third thing that you have to remember is it is nocturnal. Okay, it means it can see only during the nights, and the next one is it is herbivorous. So these are the four things that we have learned till now, and it is the only lek breeding parrot species where males gather at specific sites to perform the mating display. So basically, what is lek breeding? Lek breeding means the males of this particular species will gather at a specific site in order to perform the mating. Okay, so this the species where the male actually assembles for the performance of the mating, that particular species can be termed as a lek breeding, and usually this kakapo, which is a flightless bird, is also a lek breeding species. Okay, that is another feature that you have to remember. Okay, so it is named because of its owl face. It looks like owl, its face look like owl, and it is green in color, and it will have a green plumage. Okay, and it will have a yellow and black mottled. It is mottled with yellow and black color, and it has a gray bill and gray legs with pale soles. So I'll show you the picture so that you'll have a more clear understanding. So this is how the kakapo looks like. This is the only flightless bird that we see in the place of New Zealand. Okay, it is a native bird or a native parrot to New Zealand, which belongs to New Zealand. So it has green color thing. Okay, so this is how this particular thing looks like. The face looks like owl. Okay, and the other feature that is quoted over here is, so it will have a gray hill and a gray legs. Okay, so it has a gray bill and the gray legs with pale soles. It reproduces infrequently. So this is a lek breeding species. It reproduces infrequently, not frequently. Remember, it reproduces infrequently, which means it is not frequent. Its reproduction is not frequent. Only during years when certain native fruits like rimu berries are abundant. So basically this particular species will actually reproduce during the season when rimu berries are abundant. Okay, so these are the points that you have to remember. Let me repeat it again. It was in the news because of the artificial insemination that was done to it. Okay, so basically you don't need to remember the other information with regards to which university has conducted it. This is something which UPSC will not concentrate upon. So UPSC will concentrate upon the features of this particular species. Kakapo is the largest flightless parrot that is found in the world. It is native to New Zealand. It is nocturnal and herbivorous. This is a leg breeding parrot species where males gather at a specific site to actually perform the mating. Okay, so it is a leg breeding. Remember that. Its face looks like owl, and it will have a grey bill and grey legs and moss green plumage, and it will have yellow and black. It is mottled with yellow and black, and it reproduces infrequently. Mainly it reproduces during when the rimu berries are more available in the nature. Okay, so these are the points that you have to remember. So this is how the grey bill and grey legs are there. So you can look at the grey bill and grey legs of this particular Kakapo species. Now let's go to the let's discuss about this particular third species that is in the news, that is Pedicularis rajesiana. So this is the third species that was in the news. Pedicularis rajesiana. This is a new plant species that we have found. So that why it was in the news. So this is a new discovery, a new plant species, Pedicularis rajesiana, has been discovered in the high altitude regions of Rohtang Pass of Western Himalayas. Okay, remember, near to Himachal Pradesh, near to Rohtang Pass, we have discovered a new plant species. Remember, this is a plant species. So this is called as Pedicularis rajesiana. Okay, Pedicularis rajesiana. We have found it near to the Rohtang Pass. So if you look at the features of this particular, the Pedicularis rajesiana plant, it belongs to a group of plants called as louseworts. Okay, it belongs to a family called louseworts, and these are hemiparasitic plants, which means they perform the photosynthesis but also derive some nutrients from the host plants also. So they'll have the photosynthesis for preparation of their own food, and sometimes they'll derive few nutrients. Some nutrients are also derived from the host plants also. So they will have a dual things. Okay, they have a dual powers. So that's why we call it as a hemiparasitic plant. Okay, so it is partially parasitic and partially photosynthetic. Okay, so remember this particular feature. And these belongs to louseworts. Unique features. If you look at the unique features of this rajesiana, so this exhibits unique floral characteristics and pollen structure. So this is compared to its close relatives like Pediculatis porosetta, Heidi. Okay, almost these will also belongs to that particular class only. So this will be in smaller in size. It will have few flowers only, and it will have few leaflets only. Okay, remember these points. It will have fewer flowers and fewer leaflets. So this is how this particular Pedicularis rajesiana looks like. So this is how it looks like. Remember, Pedicularis rajesiana looks like this. Let me remind you and let me revise you the features of this particular new plant that was discovered. So this particular plant was discovered near to the Rohtang Pass recently, and it belongs to a group of plants called as louseworts, and it is a hemiparasitic plant. Okay, louseworts, hemiparasitic plant, and they perform, hemiparasitic means they perform photosynthesis, and they'll have partial derivation of nutrients from host plants also. It will have few unique characteristics, like it will have unique floral characteristics, unique pollen structure. Okay, and this particular rajesiana will be in the smaller in size, and it will have fewer flowers and fewer leaflets. Okay, now let's look at the topic 4, that is India's grey wolf, Indian grey wolf. So Indian grey wolf, the scientific name of it is Canis lupus pallipes. You don't need to remember the scientific name, however. Okay, the Indian grey wolf, so it is in the news, okay, for some reason. You don't need to remember the context of the news, you just need to remember the features of this Indian grey wolf. So this is a subspecies of the grey wolf, okay. So it is found across Southwest Asia and Indian subcontinent, remember that. So this belongs to grey wolf category only. This is a subspecies of the grey wolf, and it is found across Southwest Asian region and the Indian subcontinent. Okay, this is found across these particular regions, and it will typically inhabits the scrublands, grasslands, and semi-arid agro ecosystems. So this will be adapted to thrive in the warmer temperature. So basically it lives in the warmer temperature, and it will be living in the scrublands, grasslands, and the semi-arid agro systems. It is less vocal than other wolf subspecies. Remember this point, this is less vocal than other wolf subspecies. It lives in the smaller packs. Primarily, again, this is nocturnal and hunts from dawn to dusk. Okay, this have a capability of hunting from the dawn to dusk. IUCN, if you look at the IUCN status and the conservation of status of it, so under the IUCN, this is in the list of endangered species. In India, the Indian grey wolf is estimated from the population of it estimated from 2000 to 3000 individuals, and under CITES it is in the Appendix 1, and under Wildlife Protection Act it is in the Schedule 1. Okay, I'll repeat the features of it once again. So before that, please look at the picture. So this is how the Indian grey wolf looks like. So this is a category. Okay, so this is a category. So this also belongs to a category of, or it is a subspecies of grey wolf itself. So it is basically Indian grey wolf is seen in the locations of Southwest Asia and Indian subcontinent, and it typically inhabits in the scrublands, grasslands, semi-arid agro systems, and it will have a capability to adapt to the warmer conditions and warmer temperatures also, and it is less vocal than other grey wolf species or other wolf subspecies. It is less vocal, and it is having a capability of living only in the smaller packs, and primarily it is a nocturnal species that will hunt from dawn to dusk, okay, or dusk to dawn. And if you look at the IUCN Red List, it is an endangered species. Under CITES, it is under the Appendix 1, and under the Wildlife Protection Act also, it is under Schedule 1. Okay. Now let's look at the topic number 5, or a species that is in the news, number 5, that is snow leopard. So you can look at the picture before looking at the features of it. So this is how a snow leopard looks like. So this is a smaller one, and there are bigger ones also. Okay, this is the baby one. So the snow leopard is also called as Panthera juncea. Okay, you don't need to remember the scientific name again. So it has the extra large paws. So these large paws that are there on it will look like a pair of natural snowshoes. Okay, so this will help in preventing the cat from sinking into a snow. Okay, basically they have to thrive in the harsh snow conditions. So this particular large paws that are there will help it, okay, to stay in that particular harsh snow condition, or to get adapted to the snow conditions. It will have a round short ears. Okay, remember, to adapt to the harsh winter condition and the snowy condition, this will have a round and very short ears. Okay, so that the water will not be loosed, and it will not feel cold. Okay, remember it. So, and also to reduce the heat loss from the body, the ears are very, very small. Okay, it has round and small ears or short ears, because to decrease the heat loss from its body. Okay, so it will have wide short nasal cavity, warms the air before it reaches the cat lungs. Okay, so the nasal cavity is also very, very short, and it is wide. Okay, it is wide and it is very short. This will help the nasal cavity, or this will help the warm air to reach its lungs, okay, quickly. And the strong short front limbs and longer hind limbs will help launch the cat up to 30 feet in one leap. So in one leap itself, it will, so this particular, so you remember that it will have a longer hind limbs and it will have a shorter front limbs, whatever the limbs that are there in the front, so it will have a shorter limbs in the front. In the back or in the hind part, it will have a longer limbs. So this will help in catching, or it will help that particular snow leopard to cover the distance within one leap. To cover more distance, this particular feature will help it. Its extra long tail helps the cat keep its balance and provides extra warmth when wrapped around the body. So because of its longer tail, when it is wrapped around its body, this will help in protecting itself from the harsh snowy conditions. Unlike other big cats, snow leopards cannot roar, remember this point, and despite being called a snow leopard, it is more closely related to tiger than to the leopard. Okay, so despite we call it as a snow leopard, it belongs more to the, okay, it will have more features nearer to the tiger than to the leopard. Okay, so these are the features that you have to remember. So you can remember, you can look at its ears are wide, round, and they are very short. So this will help in reduction of the heat or loss of heat, reduction in the loss of heat. And you can look at the smaller nasal cavity also. Okay, so let me repeat the points once again. So it will have a extra large paws, and it will have round and short ears. It will have wide short nasal cavity, so that will help in warming the air before it reaches the lungs of the cat. And it will have shorter front limbs and longer hind limbs to cover more distance in one leap. It will have extra long tail to cover its body in order to protect itself from the cooler temperature. Unlike other big cats, snow leopard doesn't have a capability to roar more. And despite being called as a snow leopard, it is more closely related to tiger than to the leopard. Okay. Now let's look at the topic number 6, that is red admiral butterfly. So if you look at this particular red admiral butterfly, this is known for its extensive migratory patterns. So this will have a capability of migrating across Europe and across North America. Historically, they are unreported from India, but previously documented in parts of Central and Southeast Asia. So basically, now we have found it in India, but previously, historically, if you look at the previous data, we did not find it in India, but we have found it in South Asia and Central Asia. Okay, basically they migrate from Europe and North America to the Central Asian parts. Okay, so large confirmed recorded in South Asia, Balochistan in 1929, and rediscovered in Pakistan, Lower Chitral in 2022 after 93 years. Okay, so these are rarely spotted in India. So the larvae of this particular species will primarily feed on stringing nettle, and a plant abundantly found in the western Himalayas. And morphologically also it resembles the Indian red admiral. Okay, Indian species also there. Okay, Indian species is also there with respect to red admiral. So this will resemble that Indian red admiral species also. So it is distinguished by a narrower and deeper crimson discal band and diagnostic spot in the upper forewing. Remember this particular point. Okay, this is how this particular butterfly looks like. And now let's look at the last one, that is Calafia infuriate or Calafia cynosuricata. Okay, furcata. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. So Calafia cynosuricata. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for the pronunciation. Okay, I cannot pronounce it more properly. This is a new species of damselfly which is identified in Arunachal Pradesh, so that's why it is in the news. So this was discovered during biodiversity surveys in Upper Siang and Lower Siang districts in Arunachal Pradesh, so that's why it was found in the news. And what is the name of it? It is called as bearded bronzeback. Okay, so basically it is normally called as bearded bronzeback. Remember this name, bearded bronzeback. It is normally called it as like this. Only the second species of the genus Calafia which is recorded in India. So under the genus Calafia, this is the only second species that is found in India. So this has been recorded in India after 165 years. Okay, so the genus Calafia is more commonly known to present in the areas of Southeast Asia and also in China. The damselfly have a metallic copper green body. So basically, let me show you the picture so that you will have a clear understanding. So this is how it looks like. It will have a metallic green color body. Okay, it will almost looks like a metal. So this will be seen in green in color. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, so this will have a metallic copper green body and slender wings. You have seen that wings, right? So it is faintly tinted brown and yellow or olive markings are there on that particular wings. Okay, so if you look at the habitat of it, they usually stay in small and rocky seasonal streams in broadleaf evergreen forest. So they live basically in the elevations of 1200 to 1300 meters. Okay, they will live in the elevated region and they often live in the evergreen forest. Okay, remember these points. Let me repeat the important features of this particular species that is found in news, that is Califia cynofurecta, which was found in Arunachal Pradesh, or few districts of Arunachal Pradesh during a survey, which is also called as bearded bronzeback. So the proposed name is bearded bronzeback, and this is the second species of the genus Califia, which is recorded in India. So Califia confusa has been recorded in India, which is of like under this particular genus. Califia confusa was the first species that was recorded almost 165 years ago. Now after 165 years, we are recording the second species of this particular genus, and it is mostly found in China and Southeast Asia. And the damselfly, this is also called as damselfly. So this have a metallic body which is green in color, and it will have some tinted brown wings, and it will have some yellow or olive markings on it. Okay, basically these are a one who lives in small rocky areas in the evergreen regions and also on the elevations of 1200 to 1300 meters. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is damselfly. So this is that butterfly that we have seen. Okay, that is red admiral butterfly. So this is snow leopard that we have seen. Okay, so this is Indian grey wolf, and this is Pedicularis rajesiana. Okay, this is the new species that we have discovered near to the Himachal Pradesh. Okay, in near to Rohtang Pass. So this is kakapo, which is a flightless bird that we often see in the areas of New Zealand. And this is the great Indian bustard that we often see in the regions of Rajasthan, desert areas and Thar desert. Okay, so these are the 7 species that we have seen as part of month of May 2025, and there are more 6 to 7 species that we have to look at, and I have to explain you about that also. That will be uploading tomorrow. So the second video of this species and news will be out tomorrow. So kindly watch it, stay tuned. And if you want to purchase the PDF, you can purchase by mailing us to the mail that is mentioned in the description box, or you can actually DM us in the Instagram. The link of the Instagram is also mentioned in the description box. So thank you everyone. Let's meet in the next class. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button and please subscribe to our channel. Let's meet in the next class. Until then, take care, bye bye, and all the best.